Hey everyone, Kurt from Tar River Arms. Hope you're having a great day. Today's Learning with the TRA Team topic today, we're going to discuss the Remington 870 Tactical Shotgun. Just going to go over see if I can make sure I'm in the camera here a little bit. This is a very well-used, highly produced shotgun, both within the self-defense civilian industry as well as law enforcement. It is one of the most used shotguns in law enforcement today. I think I saw a number online. It said somewhere around 10 million of these have been produced since its inception, which is a lot. And if I had to guess, probably 10 million more would be made. And there's a lot of reasons why, especially from a self-defense, both at home or in the law enforcement community, even the military community. There's a lot of reasons, and it is being used today in many ways. So let's start. Let's talk about from the buttstock all the way to the front. First you'll notice on this buttstock is there is a rubber, about a 1-inch rubber pad on here to help with recoil mitigation as well as overall comfort of shooting. But that recoil mitigation and that butt pot, taking a little bit of the oomph out of it to help you follow up on that second and third shot, is a very nice addition. It comes with a very sturdy synthetic black stock. This can not only does this give you add some stability to the gun, but it can be used to block out windows, to knock out windows, or even as home or self-defense if you run out of ammo. So there's a lot of good uses in that as well. One of the things I like about this as well on the receiver, this is milled from a solid piece of steel. This isn't welded together. This isn't formed around blocks and things like that. This is a solid piece of steel that is come and then cut out all the internals and externals that hollowed out. That adds to the reliability and the stability of the overall gun. On the top of this receiver is a 1913 style rail. Hold just about any optic you want, laser, light, whatever you want on there. This is attached on the, we'll go to the, this is attached on the bottom of here. You have a polymer trigger guard. Really not an issue being polymer versus steel. Like everything on here is the steel, even including the trigger. This polymer, all it does is actually reduce the overall weight of the gun, which is a good thing. There really isn't a whole lot of pressure that happens on this trigger guard, so no big deal that it's polymer. Actually, it's a positive because it reduces the overall weight. Your shells are fed into the shot shell tube here from the bottom, as most shotguns are. Attached to this is an 18.5-inch barrel, which makes it a self-defense shotgun. And if you really look at shotguns in themselves, if you go and you look and say, I want a dove gun, a duck gun, a deer gun, those are going to be 20, 22, 24, 26 inches long. This falls well below that. This is why it does not make it a very good hunting gun, but a very good self-defense gun is that 18.5-inch barrel. On the end of that barrel, right with the kind of a standard, there are multiple options and multiple designs of this, but on this one, it has what they call a door breach muzzle brake, which allows you to get in there and break down whatever it is. It's got very sharp ridges on there. It can be removed in case it's not something that you like from us, either home self-defense or law enforcement. It can be removed. It is a threaded barrel, which is great because now you can put either a non-muzzle brake on there, you can put a suppressor on there. Suppressors not only lower the sound, help recoil. It helps reduce all that gas coming out of there and limits the amount of recoil. I'm a fan of suppressors. They do add a little bit of length to it, so it may not be good for all ideal situations, but definitely make the gun a lot more enjoyable to shoot and a lot more quieter to shoot. Alright, let's talk about the bottom side here. What we didn't talk about is here, let's go, the Foregrip. Foregrip is made from a very solid piece of polymer. When you pull on it, you realize instantly, comparatively to others, how well that really does rack, stroke, whatever you want to call it. It rides on two rails right here. There's a rail right here, and there's a rail right here. And what that does is allow it from stopping from twisting as you're starting to go down, making that stroke a little bit more reliable and a little bit more inertia driven, I call it. When you get on there, you can feel that you have no qualms about saying, is this thing going to break if I really get down there and rack it? You can do that. And what that does is allow to make sure, or helps ensure, that you don't get what they call the stovepipe, or failure to feed, or failure to load. Very important in a self-defense situation. This gun is very reliable in that sense. There are some things that you can do to make it more reliable, but out of the box, very reliable. Now let's talk about the sights here. So typically with this model, you're going to get a ghost ring sight on the back, which is a circle. Probably can't see that, but probably going to work on the camera angles here, but there's a ghost ring sight which gives you a circle, and then you have a white standard white fixed sight. This sight actually is removable, which is very nice. It slides to the left or to the right with a little sight pusher. And you can change these out to make sure if you want to put night sights on. Trojacon, other brand makers make a lot of different sights for this. So if you wanted night sights for this, you have that ability to put on there. Now, then one of the most standard upgrades, I would say, from a law enforcement perspective, and I would say even from a self-defense perspective, is you want to put a light on here. One of the things that, you know, think about it. You're at home, an intruder comes in, you're grabbing this thing from underneath the thing. You do not want to switch the lights on. Night sights are great if you don't want to allow your position to be found, but a light can add not only a blinding strobe light to it, but also help you identify a target and make sure, God forbid, that you are aiming at the right person. So that's one good thing. Two, law enforcement almost always requires it. So there's several options for that. One of the most recommended options, or one of the most, when I'm asked, what I recommend is, you know, brand aside, I mean, Surefire makes one of the best ones. I have an 800 lumen light that actually replaces the Foregrip with an integrated light. What I like about an integrated light on the Foregrip is it takes away all the possible additional snag points that could happen. So you could put a light on the side, you can put a light on top, you can put a light up here in the front, you can put a light up here if you want. The problem is if you think about it, if this is under a bed, locked in a car, when you try to unlock that, if you have a light sticking out here or here, you know, there's a computer here in front of you or in a car, or if you're underneath the bed or coming from behind the bed, it adds to additional snag points. And where I see that is, seems good if you train, but if you don't train, even if you do train, you're going to be in a heart-raised panic moment. I'll call it panic. It may not be panic, it may be calm, but you're going to be in an elevated position. You're going to be ripping this gun out from wherever it is, and the less that could get snagged on to get it into position so that you can get it in to ready, the better. That's what the Streamlight offers you. It is a little bit more expensive than, say, some of the adapters that you purchase just to put it on the front, but if your budget allows, that's what I highly recommend. Some other things you can change. The Magpul, because there are so many of this, Magpul obviously came out, and they've made stocks and foregrips for that are much more ergonomical, have a little bit more features around where you can put your carry strap, different things like that. Maybe some will have a little bit of storage containers behind there, maybe for batteries, for a red dot, whatever. So there's a lot of options around that for different stocks and foregrips. There's options around here in the individual components, whether it's the safety, Wilson Combat makes a larger safety, and even new bolts with different coatings, smoother coatings or whatever it is. So there's a lot of things that you can do. Now with non-third parties saying, hey, I just want this gun as is, what can I do to make it better? The one biggest thing I would tell you to do is you can, take this apart and then polish the internals. One thing I noticed from a lot of American companies, they do a great job on the overall gun design and things like that, but they don't spend a whole lot of time in the internals polishing them. So it's amazing what a little bit of a polishing substance and a little bit of a Dremel with a polishing pad. I'm not talking about removing metal, I'm not talking about sandpaper or anything like that, just using a little small polishing substance, or even just getting in there and cleaning it with some oil on a regular basis and polishing it out, polishing feed ramp, whatever it is. That is a great thing to do. That is one thing that I would recommend, especially if you're law enforcement and you're looking to purchase this gun. You can do that very easily on every single one that you have, and you can do that very affordably. It's really just time and labor, right? So that said, I hope you've enjoyed. That's our review of the 870 Tactical Express shotgun. Overall, great and recommended self-defense or law enforcement or military shotgun for tactical use. Very well built, very thought through in the terms of what it is being used for. Very configurable for different uses. So you can have the same gun that you maintain, but in different form factors for depending on the different types of uses that your either law enforcement officers have or your home defense needs. So that said, I want to thank you. Hope you're having a great morning, a great afternoon, or a great evening, depending on when you're watching this. And if you have any additional questions, please send us an email to sales@traguns.com. You can call us at 919-263-1110, or you can come by and see us in Wake Forest, 992 Durham Road, Suite B. Well, that's it. Hope you're having a great day, evening, or afternoon, and thank you for listening. Bye.